that was the first piece I ever wrote, and I started writing more during this year as a new dad, writing about all kinds of things. And first, I just share them with my wife, Bridget, and she's like, they're nice, Jeff. You just don't have to wake me up at 4 in the morning. Share the poem with me, all right? You do it over breakfast would be fine, So you share it with Dad, and I got a few friends. My friend Carl, who's here, my friend Heather. I share them with them. And they're like, yeah, these are good. You need to start sharing those with some more people. Which I think mentally meant, stop sharing them with us, all right? Widen your horizons, brother. You know what I mean? But through their encouragement, as Brenda was saying, I got on the internet and I started looking around to find a place to go and see what this whole kind of spoken word thing is all about. And found the Echo verse on the internet and went down to 1515 Broadway for the first time. And there I was. And let me just tell you, it was a cross-cultural experience for me. What she didn't say was, in walk through the door this bubbly white guy. Because that's basically what I was at the moment, right? What's up with the white guy, right? And some of you were there that night. You remember, right? Exactly. Yes, no, I appreciate it. But this is the poem that I wrote about that first experience at the Poetry Slam. The other day, I overheard a bunch of 6th graders singing the song Lollipop. Y'all, I said I overheard a bunch of 6th graders singing the song Lollipop. And that's where the poet let it hang. Hoping that it would elicit a moan or a groan, an instigation of indignation to rise and meet him from the crowd, which immediately had my mind wandering down to the other end of the radio dial, to that fifth set of presets seldom ever touched, where an imagined finger could index the only station that prides itself on being all oldies, all the time. And that's where I found it. The poetic seed the poet planted taking root. Oh, you know how it goes. Oh, lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, lollipop, 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 oh, lolly, 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 lollipop. Da-dum-dum-dum. Which left me a bit confused. Because while I'm sure that having a bunch of 6th graders sing that song over and over again until it rattles around in your brain like a pinball machine working overtime is surely enough to drive you crazy, I don't think it is quite the emergency he'd like me to think it is. Y'all, I said I heard a bunch of 6th graders singing the song Lollipop. Da-dum-dum-dum. It doesn't take me long, however, to realize that a different rhythm and rhyme than the one I had in mind was being conjured about some song that seemed to be shuffling around on everybody's iPod but mine. Some Lil Wayne tune about licking it and sticking it where the sun don't shine. So there I was on the outside of this inside joke looking in, which I suppose just should have been my cue to check on out for a moment, to sit there politely and nod my head, play with the plastic straw in my plastic cup, and just wait for the next stop to hop back on. But before I can flip the switch to autopilot, a poetic corner has been turned, and suddenly his uniquely context-cultural reference has become a springboard to a much larger conversation about the plight of our youth and the dignity of women and the true essence of manhood, all undergirded by this rage that something out there just ain't right, all tied together in this hope that maybe, just maybe, we could do something about it. And that's when I realized why I was there. Because you see, I live in this metro area that is always 8 miles away from getting its act together. Where far too often the fact that you and I listen to different music, wear different clothes, eat different food, read different books, watch different television, go to different movies, worship in different ways and in different places, tell different jokes, and clap our hands on different beats means that you and I don't have to stick around long enough to hear the question that might lie beneath the cultural manifestation of our struggle. Which means you might miss it when I tell you that the person who inspires me most to be more than the person I am right now is a dead white Catholic woman named Dorothy Day, who embarrassed the church by actually trying to live like Jesus, staring down the militaristically complex industry of death that kills indiscriminately both at home and abroad. Or how the driving backbeat of a Johnny Cash song reminds me that my father's only ticket out of poverty was armed twisted service to a fight he did not start, his country did not have the guts to finish. Or anytime that I hear the screen door slam on Boss's Thunder Road, I think about my one uncle who can no longer bend over from a lifetime of lug and pulp at the mill, falling to have logged enough hours to retire, and they took his health care away. You see, it's the same way I gotta listen to any poem that references Malcolm or Meagher or Fannie Lou Hamer or Mingus or Monk, Get a Bird or Badu, or any song that wraps itself around a lollipop. If I ever hope to discover the common path, we all might be walking on it. That's why I'm here, y'all. Not for anything that I have to stand up here and say, but for what happens when I sit down to listen.